Right, okay. Let's do it.
Hello, Andrew.
Oops, sorry. Too loud. Classic sound check versus actually recording. This can be good for our cold open. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds fascinating, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Ali, what's up?
Oh, it's exciting. It's the Showstopper podcast where we talk monthly to guests from the world of comedy and musical theatre.
Not to mention improv.
Yes, the improv world. What a fascinating place it is to be and work.
Absolutely. And we are at work right now. We're backstage in the West End about to do our show.
You can feel the glitter, the glamour around us. The excitement is just buzzing through my veins. I can't wait.
Absolutely. We did 2 shows yesterday at the Norwich Theatre Playhouse. Can I remember what they are, or can you remember?
The last one was, it's funny how you can only retain one, for me personally. The last one was set in a wax museum, House of Wax, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. It was Great Yarmouth Wax Museum.
And you had an amazing final beat. The finale scene was you playing all 3 characters that you played throughout the show. And it all came to a head, as it often does in our stories.
Yeah.
And Andrew just played a trio scene with himself.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable.
I played a mysterious man, the man who was in love with a mysterious man, and a waxwork that came to life that the man who was in love with the man made to sort of honour him after he disappeared.
Yeah.
And then they all 3 interacted in a big song, and it was quite confusing.
It was an amazing story. And one of the suggestions from the audience was the name of the mystery man.
Oh, yes, it was Silas, wasn't it?
Silas Trueheart. I mean, who invents a character like that on the spot? I nearly pulled him up on stage and got them to do the second half with us. It's amazing.
Yeah, clearly, you know what you're doing, so come on up and join us. Now we've got another show tonight. Let's check in after the show and do the close of the podcast after the show, and then we can discuss what the show that we're about to do was.
Yes, imagine if you'd done a trio finale again with yourself. And I'd be like, I'm seeing a pattern here, Andrew.
I think tonight's show should have some more me in it.
You know what would make this great? More me.
Just a little soupçon of me right now. If that's what the audience wants.
Yeah, whatever they want, we shall give them.
A bet for where it's going to be set?
American High School or Fairy Tale Village.
Oh, nice. I'm going to manifest, Ali. Going to manifest a spaceship.
Oh, a spaceship. We love a spaceship, don't we?
We're the only ones, but we love it.
We have had the International Space Station quite often recently.
That is true. Yeah, it's quite a popular suggestion. Not one that the audience vote yes on very often.
Yeah, very, very much a single-handed hand up in the air, isn't it, for the ISS? Yeah.
But we're here for that guy.
Yeah, we love that guy. It's very much one of the ones that gets a not even the person who suggested it kind of response.
Absolutely. This month's podcast guest, known to you personally, Ali James.
Yes, from back in the day, from my musical theatre touring career. Had the pleasure of saying many of Adam's jokes out loud to guffawing audiences. It's the comedy writer and actor Adam Brown.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe most familiar to listeners in the Hobbit trilogy of all things amazing and massive.
Yeah, Ori the Dwarf, which just kind of kaboomed and happened to Adam kind of out of the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And just blew his life up in a completely different direction. Really exciting story.
Yeah, absolutely. And he, as you say, he's an amazing writer. He's been touring quite recently with Ian McKellen in Mother Goose. And he's just a lovely guy.
He really is, and he certainly knows his comedy.
Very true. I propose, Ali, that we now listen to his episode and invite the listeners to listen along too.
What an original thought, Andrew. My goodness, that's inspired.
Absolutely. We recorded this episode a few months ago at Mousetrap Theatre Projects in the heart of London's glittering West End with Duncan Walsh-Atkins on the keys.
Yes, correct. Let's have a little listen.
Let's. Welcome, Adam Brown.
Hello.
Hooray! We're so glad you could make it here. Thank you for coming all the way from sunny Brighton.
Well, a day out up to the big smoke.
Yes. Usually people are wanting a day out to Brighton, but for you it's the other way around.
It's the other way around. I come and go, this is the real world.
Yeah.
And I go back home and go by the sea and the seagulls.
Yeah, lovely.
What's your sort of go-to activity in Brighton?
And we should say that voice you can hear is Philip Pellier, who's also with us today. Hey, Phil.
So what's your go-to activity in Brighton?
I would say a general mooch around the shops.
Yeah.
A little seaside jaunt. with my dog who's on wheels, so that kind of takes up all my day, because walking a dog normally takes a couple of hours, but with a dog on wheels it can take a little bit longer because he's got these wheels. And basically he had an accident last year. I can't remember. It's been so traumatic.
Yeah.
But he's now fine and dandy in his little wheels. So we just have little stops, have a cup of coffee, let him get his breath, and we go around and visit another little gift shop in Brighton.
Oh, so nice. It's a lovely little stretch along there to be walking the dog, isn't it?
Yeah.
Such a nice seafront there. I was there just the other weekend celebrating my 40th birthday.
You're not 40.
Oh, that's very kind reaction. Thanks. You could do some more of that if you like.
You're
Get out
55.
You're kidding. You're bus pass.
It was a really lovely weekend. And you were there too, Andrew.
I was there not with Ali. I was there with my own family at the same time.
Having another party just
totally
down the
different
road.
party. You know what? One day on the seafront, my daughter, it was unexpectedly sunny, and my daughter, who's 5, decided that we should buy her a sun hat. And we went past a little seafront kind of place selling sun hats, and she says, "Can I have this one?" and picks it up. And I shan't say on the podcast what was written on the sun hat, but it just said in large letters.
That's the one she wanted.
She's like, "Can I have this one?" And we're like, "No, I think that's too big for you, darling. I don't think that'd fit."
Not the right colour choice.
Yeah. Steering her away from
I'm sorry
the
to say,
hat store.
I wasn't in Brighton at all last weekend at all. I said about, but I did go to school just down the road from Brighton.
Really?
At Rottingdean.
Oh, the posh one. There's a posh-
Well, there used to be a little private school up on the hill called
Yes,
St
said
Albans.
Philip proudly.
But now it's all sort of closed down.
Oh,
the
is
rest
it?
of it
Right.
sold it off. But it was, I was a proper little sort of school with a cap and the shorts. And we used to go down, and parents used to come down at weekends, and we go for walks along the seafront, much like taking a dog for a walk, except I was the dog in this case.
Philip went to school in 1949.
No.
Little
Part
later.
of an Enid Blyton story.
But it was very Enid Blyton. Yes, it was. It was very like that.
It's a world I want to be in.
And Ali and Philip, you know Adam from the amazing pantos at Newbury Corn Exchange, is that right?
Yes, we've
Yeah.
had the pleasure of gracing that stage and using Adam's amazing comedy writing.
Speaking the words written by you.
Thank you. No, you guys, you literally made it shine. It was all sparkly because of you guys. Thank you.
Oh, it was such fun. What a brilliant run. I should say that I was in Cinderella, opposite the brilliant Susan Harrison as hashtag and viral, Cinderella's evil stepsisters. And Phil.
I was in Jack and the Beanstalk. Justin Brett, who was in your panto, and I did a dame share on.
It's like a job share, isn't it?
It was a dame share. You can buy into it. You can buy a couple of weeks, and then in the
I think
summer
it's a thing
holidays
that
you
needs
can
to
rent
take
it
off.
out.
Yeah.
And this was when Justin went on paternity leave, is that right?
Yes. Justin was having a baby, so he asked me to cover for him.
Oh, they're such beautiful shows there. They really are. And funnily enough, we have been talking recently on the podcast to Joanna Woodward, who I believe was in Puss in Boots.
Joanna, yes, oh, lovely Joanna. Yes, she did panto with me. Yeah, we graced that stage. God, things come out of Newbury. They really do. They do.
For sure. And you've worked there for a number of years then, haven't you?
Yes, I had a comedy double act basically. We were resident at the theatre with Claire Plested.
Yeah.
And we wrote and performed all our shows and did Edinburgh Festival for around 7 years and literally toured art centres up and down the country.
Yes.
And the shape of the shows changed all the time and what we were doing with them. But they were very silly comedic shows where things went wrong and props didn't come out of the right place and the set would fall down and it would all be a really stupid, wonderful kind of story within that. And and we became a bit of panto regulars there.
Yeah.
And became the double act of Newbury Corn Exchange. And then, cut to 10, 15 years later when all that was kind of finished, we got a knock on the door saying, "Hey guys, you don't fancy like writing it, do you?" I was like, hell yes, that's like the best job ever. You can sit in your garden and drink an Aperol Spritz and come up with funny puns.
Gorgeous. And so what sort of time of year do you start writing a Christmas panto?
Well, we're a bit late with the one coming up, I must say, but
More on the Aperol Spritz than the
I'm
writing.
still on the Aperol Spritz, but not the writing. The empire of our panto world has grown a bit. So we now write Salisbury Playhouse panto as well, and so we're juggling 2 at the moment.
That's great.
So Salisbury Playhouse is almost done, but Newbury is. I think we're tried and tested and trusted at Newbury, so we're going to start that a little bit later on.
Right, and there's a third person in your writing team.
Amanda Wilshire. So we're like a triple writing team.
Yeah.
So we get on our Zoom and do our bits and come together and it's really lovely. It keeps it fresh. I had the luck of directing it for 3 years. One of those was in COVID, which was a complete minefield of its own.
Yeah.
And then Amanda took over and directed yourself.
I thought she was terrific. I really liked her. And I really thought her choices were, and her advice was just really succinct, but gently given, but absolutely accurate.
Yeah,
Absolutely accurate.
she knows her stuff.
Does, absolutely.
And it's good because between all 3 of us, we can kind of keep it fresh, and have a break and then do other things and keep
Absolutely.
our...
In the writing, do you find you sort of section up? Does one of you do, I'm gags and I'll do plots, or I'm really good at these kind of characters. Is there anything happen like that? Or
there is probably a formula. I'm not quite sure what it is, but we come up with a structure and we try and change it and modernize the story as much as it can, but still feel really like a fairy tale. And then we get excited about what we can do with the characters, and then sort of do a synopsis, and then we divvy up, and then it's just basically kind of honing. I take a shot at looking at it, and then hone it on to the next one, and it's just all a bit ad hoc, but it kind of works.
It's so great because, like you're saying about these little twists and offers that you might make, the 3 of you, because when Sue and I did The Ugly Sisters, what are classically The Ugly Sisters, but actually ours were kind of internet influencers, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like Instagram influencers.
You were fabulous.
We had such a good time, but not only that fun twist on the characters, but also very generously, really, Newbury Corn Exchange gave us the opportunity to open the panto up and do a bit of improv in there as well, which Jordan on keys, because we had brilliant Jordan Clark from Showstopper.
I mean, we lucked out with you guys. We really did.
And Al McNeil, who it was his first time improvising with us with percussion, but man, by the end of the run, we were all jamming together. And then Justin Brett and Susan Harrison and myself, and subsequently went on to win an award for innovation in pantomime.
Well, that was down to you guys, but you brought your magic to our shows, and every time we sort of sat back and watched how fresh and new it was, and that's what I think is exciting about panto, that it can't be that stale story. It needs to be alive all the time, and crikey, you made it alive every show. It was like just amazing.
But you're hot off the press from your recent panto run, aren't you?
Yeah.
And this, I mean, Mother Goose it was just a gorgeous production, wasn't it?
It was pretty epic. We've just finished. I can't believe a panto. It's so strange coming out of stage door and it still be light outside.
I'm sure.
Doing a panto.
Odd, because I remember doing pantos when just after Christmas, there's always a slight feeling of, we've got to sort of change gags to New Year now and all the rest of it. And you're March, for heaven's sake. It's like we're talking about Christmas next year. How did that work?
Well, there were no Christmas references, thank goodness, for Mother Goose. But we had John Bishop as the lead, and he made it as fresh as anything. He was incredible, along with Ian McKellen, and it was an epic job. I need to lie down in a dark room and not mention the word panto for a while, but I have to do my other job, so that keeps coming. But it was great, and it was just a lovely phone call to say, do you want to be a part of it? I was like, yes please, that's amazing. Yeah.
And you had a really fun role, Adam, didn't you?
I mean, I camped it up a little bit, yeah.
No.
I mean, I think my costume might have, overtaken Ian's at some point. It was phenomenal. Yeah, I was really lucky, and it's directed by Cal McChrystal, who is just comedy bones himself, and he works with Gifford Circus, the opera, and all the Edinburgh shows that he's done, One Man, Two Governors, movement stuff, and so, he just allowed me access to play around with the audience for the kind of the bit of show-off bit that I did at the end, which was so nice. I played the Goose King, and and I was in control of the stage, which was so nice. And Cal was so amazing. He said, this is the first time in the show that the stage isn't in control by John and Ian. You take control and be the king. It was just so much fun.
And of course, obviously, we have to talk about your long-standing friendship with Sir Ian McKellen because of your experiences together prior to Mother Goose.
Yeah, Middle Earth to Panto.
Yeah, quite a spectrum there.
And so you played that dwarf Ori in the Hobbit trilogy.
I did, yeah. In fact, I was working with Ali on a show when I got the call saying that I was going to New Zealand. We were in the middle of a musical that I'd written with Claire and Amanda, and Ali was performing in the said musical.
Yeah.
And
was it The Perfect Wife?
It was The Perfect Wife. Yeah, we're still working on that. It's still got legs. It's still got legs. And I got the call that I didn't think I'd ever get, but it meant that I moved to New Zealand for 2.5 years, and everything that I thought my life was, which was Edinburgh Festival, touring,
UK
and creating my own work.
Yeah.
Suddenly I was in the world of Hollywood.
Yeah.
A life-changing phone call.
It was, yeah. And
it's extraordinary.
People
just on a phone call, and your life changes. It
was like that. I have loads of friends that said, this doesn't happen, that this really doesn't happen. And I was one of these actors that were brought in to audition for Bilbo Baggins. I am not Bilbo Baggins, but it was when Martin Freeman couldn't do it because Sherlock weren't releasing him from his contract to go to New Zealand. So they were looking for an alternative, and any actor under 5'7", I think, was asked to audition. And I got a call from my agent, and he just said, listen, you're not Bilbo, but they really liked you and thought you would be a great dwarf. And I didn't really know what that meant because I didn't know if that meant like villager number 1 at the back.
Yeah.
Sure.
I do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dwarfs are quite integral to the story. And and then that phone call went, actually bringing it back to Panto. I was doing a Panto press launch at Newbury. I was dressed as a frog prince. And I was driving back with all the cast on the M25, and the phone call went and said, they want you. It's going to be, at that point, 2 movies, and you're moving to New Zealand after Christmas.
Wow.
So, yeah.
What a time.
Have been almost impossible to kind of, deal with.
I think I had a nervous break.
I mean, sorry, it's such
I think I was on the plane, literally. I flew out with Martin Freeman, watching him sleep. Going, is this real?
Wow.
Shall I touch him?
The whole thing must have been like that. It must have been like, is this...
No, he's asleep.
Hello, chicken or beef?
That's great. And so what, I mean, it's such a huge question, but what would those first few days on set like when you're working with Peter Jackson and the team?
It was amazing. And you know what actors are like? As soon as you do a job, you start moaning about it. You moan when you haven't got a job and you moan when you're in a job. I seriously did not moan on that job. It was, it sounds a blinking cliche and one of those things where you say, oh, we're one big family, but we really were, and everyone was so nice. And, I pinched myself and they literally were holding my hand through the whole process. I think I'd done a episode of Chuckle Brothers.
Oh yeah, I saw that on your CV today and thought, oh, I bet it was brilliant in that.
I was bloody brilliant. I think I stole I was like the chocolate bar thief who was also a policeman.
Oh yeah, that's a bit of you, isn't
that's
it?
a bit of me, and with a fake moustache that I pulled off at the end.
Oh my word!
So silly.
Some of my best work.
The depth of this performance.
There were layers. There were layers.
Yeah, I can tell.
So this was your screen preparation for appearing in the hundreds of $1 million production.
So I think I went from Chuckle Vision to Middle Earth.
Jackson Vision, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So great.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular memory of what it was of being with the company, a sort of company memory of what. So when you think of it, I think of that day when we all went to so-and-so and ordered roast kiwi or whatever it was, or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't order roast kiwi. That's a bird. It's an endangered species. I didn't mean that in any facetious way to any New Zealand listeners.
I'm thinking of fruit. I'm like, have you roasted kiwi? There were so many bizarre moments. I think it can't really, whether it be flying to work in a helicopter, as you do, or getting your makeup put on at 4 a.m, or going to a One Direction concert with Ian McKellen.
Wow. Such fun. What a great time.
Yeah. So those things, I guess, up there, yeah.
Are you still in touch with the other dwarves?
I am, yeah. I mean, a lot of them are Kiwis, so we've got like a little WhatsApp group. We do all those things. Yeah, and I'm close with Ian and Martin in the UK. Yeah, no, it's just so much fun.
And so in your supportive way, as you always are, recently you've reached out to those dwarves and made some promo videos for the Southend 48-hour Improvathon.
That's the least I can do.
Which was because the link is that the Improvathon this year was set in Middle Mearth. We called it Middle Mearth, but for copyright reasons. And
is that the reason?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And for fun. But because you asked lovely Graham McTavish and Jed Brophy to be part of those, and then on the day you sent me one of you and Sir Ian, and it was just amazing and so galvanizing for the company to have these amazing actors sending their support to us before we went for the 48-hour marathon. So
and you raised like a phenomenal amount of money, right?
It was amazing, for UNICEF, £2,000. So thanks for that, because that was pretty great.
It's the least I could do.
It's very motivating having some dwarves telling you to go the distance. It was great. It was brilliant.
That sounds like a Disney film, though. Telling you to go the distance.
Yeah. It was magical. It was amazing. So thanks.
As a writer of pantos and musicals, what question am I asking? I just want to ask you generally about writing.
Yeah. I think I enjoy writing with people. I think so. Like Claire and Amanda writing panto is just so much fun. I'm writing a film at the moment with. Ali also read for the film for a draft that we did on Zoom.
It's very funny.
Last year.
Yeah.
Again, and that's with my friend Fraser, and I really fire off people and love working with people. Not so much on my own. I get so distracted. Mm-hmm. I know, I just take my hat off to these people that sit in their sheds all day long and write like novels and scripts. I just think I fire off working with people, so I know I get there a lot quicker when I work with people. It's just nice being in a room with people, all on Zoom, and just going, oh yes. Oh, actually, that's not that great, but we could do this. Yeah. So I think, So very collaborative form of writer, I say. Rather than a sit down on my own, I'm going to chuck out a novel.
Yeah.
And you're writing another panto for Newbury, aren't you?
Yeah.
And writing one for Salisbury at the same time. So you must know the Newbury audience. Do you write a specific kind of panto for the Newbury theatre? And that would be slightly different to what you would write for the Salisbury one?
Yes, maybe a little. I think we could be a little bit more ruder in they trust us, perhaps. A little bit more smutty. Salisbury, just really big and glitzy, and we sort of adapted our Cinderella script for Salisbury last year, and our fairy was able to fly in, and all the magic that has, and we had a carriage that flew. So our minds can go a bit further in that, because we're not constrained by financial limitations of a venue. They can do pretty much anything there. So that's a freedom in terms of writing. You can choose to do whatever you want there. So that's great.
When it comes to incorporating songs into your writing and music, what's your philosophy?
It's my favourite bit. I have a WhatsApp group with Claire and Amanda, and I'm throwing songs at them. Go, oh my God, this one's amazing. This will get everyone on their feet. For example, we had a lovely moment in in Cinderella, we were thinking of a wonderful song for Cinderella to have a transformation in and then go to the ball. And we were thinking, right, what can it be? And we had Black Eyed Peas and Ollie Murs, all these things that are, current. I say they're current. They're probably about 10 years old. I'm so not current. And then I just get an email from Claire saying, oh my gosh, I've got it. It's my favourite song in the world. Champagne Supernova by Oasis would be brilliant. And it was amazing. We had all the adults in the audience with their cameras like swaying from side to side, going... slowly walking down the hall on my way to a royal ball.
It was gorgeous. And the ensemble came out with the old Liam Gallagher glasses, didn't they?
Yeah.
And everyone had their hands in the air. It was a really magical moment. And you incorporated one of my favourite tunes of all time.
Which is?
Bop.
Bop. It didn't make Salisbury cut, I'm afraid. But no, we loved that one from
that was
Newbie.
really
That
fun.
was the, I'm gonna perform some magic. So let's have some Hanson.
Yeah, it was great being there.
I think that's the only song they did.
Well, they did a lot of songs.
Oh.
I was a really avid Hanson fan
Wow.
back in the day.
Did you like them?
Yeah, I really did. And they did some amazing music. They're from Tulsa in Oklahoma, aren't they? And
Weren't they about like 12? I seem to remember them being really young.
Yeah. I think I was as well, and sort of wanted to be the fourth person in Hanson.
Right.
Which I possibly could have been.
Blonde
because
bombshell.
I just loved them. And they're a brilliant sort of family band, aren't they?
I see.
They're all brothers.
Yeah.
So, and I always wanted a family band.
Right.
But I did have a duo with my brother. Anyway, I digress. I loved Hanson. So hearing that Bop song in the when I saw that it was in the panto script, I was like, oh, that's going to be great. And we recorded all the BVs, didn't we? And made
We did, yeah.
the music with Jordan and Alan.
And can you still listen to those songs?
Oh yeah, I love them.
Can you?
Yeah, they really take me back.
So
yeah.
for Mother Goose, there was some classic songs, real gay anthems, but it was the pre-show music whilst I was getting my wig on and my makeup
You
on.
goose
I
that.
don't want to listen to Michael Bublé ever again or Alicia Keys. I can't do it. They have been removed from my Spotify list forever. It might take 10 years or so and I might go back to them.
How many Mother Goose shows did you do?
144 shows.
Oh my.
Wowee.
Yeah, we started in Brighton, then we did the Duke of York in the West End, and then we went on a little tour from Sheffield, Liverpool, Wolverhampton, Cardiff, Oxford, Bristol. I think we finished in Bristol.
Yeah,
Wow.
great.
Yeah, amazing.
Comedy has really taken you all over the UK, hasn't it?
It has,
Over
yeah.
the years, really has, with Edinburgh and everything as well.
And touring, yeah.
And where are you from originally?
I'm from Hungerford, which is maybe a stone's throw from Newbury. So hence why when Claire and I set up our company with Amanda, we became resident at Newbury. They were so kind we are talking donkeys years ago, but they gave us a space to have a computer and an office and all those things and a base, and to sort of give us a bit of kudos as I phone around venues and say, would you take our show? So, which I did all the tour booking, and Claire
wow.
did all the Arts Council funding grants, which were a big job in
Extensive.
themselves.
Yeah.
So
Don't
when-
envy either of those jobs.
Yeah. Well, I quite like talking to strangers and forming a relationship over ideas, it's basically salesman. I was just a salesman.
Just
Yeah.
cold calling.
I
dudes,
was.
Yeah. And when you were growing up in Hungerford, how did it come about that you went into this world of comedy? What do you remember someone saying, oh, you're funny, or any of those moments?
I was always kind of discouraged by my folks because they just wanted me to get a proper job, but I kind of just rebelled against that. And so I think it's from school, really. I did like one production of Bugsy Malone, and I was in a really small part. I think I played... there was a really, really tall girl in the same year, and I was her ventriloquist puppet.
Great.
And that's the one scene I had, and just that laughter was infectious. And I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
I want to do this. Yeah.
Given the free choice, is there a particular role you would like to play?
Well, I can't sing very well, but I would have loved to have played Seymour in Little Shop.
Oh, you've been
I'm a bit
adorable
slightly
singer.
too old now, probably. I'd be more the dentist now, I guess. But yeah, that would have been my. If I could sing, that would be the one.
Such a great role, isn't it?
Oh yeah, love that.
Rick Moranis. Were you a fan of Rick Moranis
Oh,
when you were
all
younger?
that stuff, and Steve Martin, Goldie Hawn. Oh my God, I still argue to this day that there's no one at that Hollywood status that has those comedy chops that she had. Like she's like, it was just pure. She's like my favorite actress. Like such comedy chops.
Yeah, Private Benjamin was so brilliant.
Overboard.
They taught us the ropes, didn't they?
They
were
did.
the icons.
They are.
Yeah.
All those 80s movies. Yeah, just tell silly stories with really funny people.
That's what life should be about, isn't it?
I think so.
I feel like that's what we've all
Absolutely.
signed up for as a lifestyle, which is pretty lovely, really. Well, shall we make up some little songs?
Oh, I'm scared about this.
It's all right, we got you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we got you with the showstoppers. It's all good.
Yeah.
What is it about saying we're going to make up a song that makes you terrified?
Oh, yeah, well, let's dissect that. I don't know. A, because I'm not very musical. I can't sing very well. Warning. Please unplug your speaker now.
You could do a Rex Harrison kind of singing.
Yeah,
kind of.
we were talking in last month's episode, in fact, about how many like big musical theatre roles, be taken on by people like Judi Dench and Rex Harrison, all kinds of people who, you don't need to be a singer to be in a musical. You just need to, connect
Have
with
some
that character.
confidence. I'll try and get it.
Absolutely. We were talking, weren't we, quite recently, that it's, as long as it's true, as long as you're feeling it, you can sell the song. And there are a lot of real stars in musical theatre who aren't the greatest technical singers or aren't even the greatest singers, but they deliver a song. And that's by being authentic and true and feeling it, which is, there's no barrier to that.
But I mean, just like coming to watch your shows and seeing it, yourselves perform in the small segments of like showstoppery stuff you do in our shows. My jaw's on the floor going, how do they do that?
Well, let's find out.
Oh gosh.
Because it's just so much fun.
Okay.
And it's going to be a wild ride. Why don't you do a song about comedy greats?
Comedy greats. Amazing. And do you remember the first laugh that you had? Switching on the TV on Christmas Day.
I remember Rod Hull and Emu, and the funny things that they would say.
I remember Goldie Hawn and Steve Martin. They made me really laugh when I was young.
I remember Dame Edna giving out gladiola. I remember the smiles and the fun.
They made us laugh. They made us laugh. They made us smile all day. They made us laugh. They made us laugh. The comics that have faded away.
Who can forget Morecambe and Wise in their pajamas, making breakfast in that routine?
Who can forget the two Ronnies with their glasses that I also own, actually?
Monty Python and the Goons, they changed the way that it was done.
And the young ones and the goodies and every kind of fun.
I miss them all. I want to watch their shows. I really love it daily.
I wish we could see them now.
They made us laugh. They made us laugh. They made us laugh and smile all day. They made us laugh. They made us laugh. And those laughs will never fade. Those laughs will never fade. Those laughs will never fade away.
Oh, that was the very lovely Adam Brown. And again, though he was nervous, what a lovely song. Just beautiful. And hey, Ali, right now, after the show, we're on a bit of a high, aren't we?
We had such a great time because we had such an amazing setting. It was just so juicy. We made a musical in Barbie Land.
Yeah, that's right. Lucy Trott played Barbie amazingly. I was Ken. And really, there's something about the setting of Barbie Land for some reason that made it really kind of thematically quite rich, so that just the idea of a place where everything is perfect and plastic and everything has to be a certain way was just really strong. And then the impact that had on the individual characters and who might not conform to what Barbie Land's idea of what perfection is was really interesting. And then it turned into this brilliant, empowering LGBT story. Some amazing moments from the audience, some really great suggestions. They got us to do this big Greatest Showman number that's all about standing up for yourself and what you believe in. It was wonderful.
Oh, it's just such brilliant offers from the audience, and it really felt like some kind of collective awakening experience.
We should say at the time of recording, the big Barbie movie has yet to be released, although by the time you're listening to this, it will be out. Who knows if they tell the same story or a different story. But maybe if you didn't catch our musical, you could, as a sort of low-budget second option, go and see the movie instead.
We should get a little trailer on the end of the Barbie and Oppenheimer showings.
Anyway, that was our last West End show for a little while until October, but that's not the last you can see of us.
We're going up to the Edinburgh Festival, Andrew.
Absolutely. In fact, by the time this episode is released on August the 1st, we will be in Edinburgh and having a tech rehearsal probably.
We're back in the Pleasance Grand. If you're at the Edinburgh Fringe and you want to come along and make us do some amazing things, shout out some musicals and we'll homage them in your honour, then please do.
Absolutely. And Ali, you have a little plug, don't you?
I'd love to talk about Angry Salmon. It's a musical that's happening from the 4th to the 6th of August. Just a small run, but it's at the Bridewell in central London. And it's written and directed and made by me and Jordan Paul Clark, our amazing showstopper MD.
Yeah, I'm so gutted to be missing it myself because I'll be up in Edinburgh already. But if you're down in London, get yourself a ticket. That's an order. And while you're at it, follow us on all of the usual social platforms, including Threads, which I've just made a profile for us for. And we'll see you soon.
Please do share the podcast with people who you know and love. And maybe there are some musical theatre or improvisation or comedy fans out there that you think this could add some sunshine to their day.
Let's go pack for Edinburgh, Ali.
Yeah, let's do that. Bye.